I love America. Yeah, wait, where were y'all born?
I was born in Harlem, New York.
Was that in America?
New York.
Is that America?
He said
Yes,
New York.
yes. New York is
So
part
do
of
you love
America.
America?
Huh?
So do you love America?
Yeah.
Where were you born?
So much. Texas?
Is that in America?
Not really. We're our own state, but I'll give you that. We're our own country.
Yeah,
but I'll
Texas.
give you that.
I'm part of
I'll give you that.
I'm from the United States of Texas, the United Counties of Texas.
Well, you already know it's Antisocial Commentary. It's your boy, Sir OK.
It's Chris.
Kenton, nice to meet you, fellas.
Yeah, we got a guest.
Another guest.
Thanks for being on the show, Kenton.
Man, I appreciate it.
Actually,
guest.
we have a special episode today because we're gonna actually talk about our top 10 basketball NBA players of all time. Did you have any when you wrote yours? Did you have like any rules that you went by when you wrote yours?
I did, and then I scratched all the rules.
Oh, yeah,
and I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna just do my 10 favorite players.
Oh, you went with your favorites.
Wow.
And it's not even that it's not, because the best is so
broad.
you know,
Yeah.
like, so it's like, why even go through that stress? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go with the 10, my favorite, and these are who I think are the best players to me.
I really wish
It
I
is
would
what
have
it
did
is.
that. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was way easier than what I did. I actually I had to be unbiased. I picked people I put on the list I didn't like.
Nah, that's stupid.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I should have did that.
I was gonna have to put like
that's not your
Chamberlain on
top
the
10.
list.
Huh?
That's somebody else's top 10 then. If you went unbiased, you didn't use like your own, like you said, you kind of picked some of his best players, his favorite players.
Man, I would have had to put Wilt Chamberlain and fucking
You have to.
Julius Erving. Like,
No.
I'm good.
Well, see, I kind of did that. And I was just like, let's since you want to go first, let's talk about your list. Did you put yours in order, or you just said like 10 of who you thought was good? Because I put mine in reverse chronological order. Like I did 10.
Well, I kind of have two lists.
Okay.
One list is including me, and one list is not.
Okay, so
which
you got your top 11.
Then.
Let's do the one that doesn't include you.
All right,
Can't be upset with that at all.
If we're talking the list with me, I'm first.
Yeah, obviously.
Always.
Okay.
But MJ,
Wait, so you going 1 to 10 or you going 10 to 1?
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
You starting off hot.
1 to 10. MJ, Kobe,
Mhm.
LeBron,
Okay.
Pistol, Shaq.
Still P.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shaq,
Shaq.
Trace McGrady, Steph Curry, Penny, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant.
Penny.
Man,
Woo!
as a Penny Hardaway fan, I cannot be begrudged whatsoever that you picked Penny. Penny is a really, really good player all time, but his injuries kind of bring him off people's lists, so that's a good person to pick.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that about
Might as well put Grant Hill on your list.
I was gonna say Grant Hill was an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dirk
they
Nowitzki.
were kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, if
They had the
one
same kind
knee
of game.
injury, one knee injury away from being considered a Hall of Fame player.
And I would
like
put
from
Brandon
the-
Roy in there in that boat too.
Brandon, no. I
would put him
You
in
saying
that.
like injured players, not you wouldn't put him in your top 10.
No. I'm saying
Okay.
in that boat of
People that could have been somebody.
Yeah, Penny.
Yeah, Penny,
I think his
Grant
first 2
Hill,
years-
shit. What's the old boy name from UT? TJ Ford. People that could have been somebody, but just didn't fizzle
I
out.
think TJ Ford wasn't like a Hall of Famer, but
Yeah,
TJ Ford was a really good.
baller.
He was good.
He
but
wasn't.
His
He wasn't
career
on that trajectory of
And
going like.
it all has to do with where you go to play.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, he never went to like a good team, so you're always going to be like, well, damn, he never made it.
Yeah, that's what kind of sucks with being like the number 1 draft.
Yes, sir.
Because you end up, unless you're like Lonzo Ball, you end up with a storied franchise.
Exactly.
Well, he was the number 1, but you get.
But he was their number 1 pick. They weren't going to pick somebody else. Like whoever had, I thought with Markelle Fultz, they were going back and forth who they were going to pick.
Yeah.
They already knew who they wanted.
Yeah, if the Lakers would have went 1, they would have picked Lonzo.
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So-
Regardless of whatever's going to happen, Lonzo was going to be number 2 to the
But
Lakers.
let's get back to your list. You put
Yes.
Pistol Pete on your top 10 NBA players of all time.
Yes.
You have 2 white players on there just to be not to be like racist or anything, but
You do got 2.
Pistol Pete and Larry Bird
I
are 2
wasn't
good
going.
players.
I didn't know it was a color thing.
No, it's not a color thing, but I'm just saying.
John
Like,
Stockton was made the list too. Shit, I was looking for a point guard. I was like, damn, I need a point guard. Cause I was looking at him, I was like, I ain't got no point. I ain't got nobody to bring the
I
ball
was
up.
gonna say, so you built a team too. I like that.
I
too.
wanted to build a team as well, cause I was like, damn, if I'm about to go hoop, like I need a
Who would you
squad.
pick?
So that's why I was like,
Exactly.
I got Stephen Curry here, and then I need Pistol. I need somebody to distribute, and Pistol was playing. He played quote unquote like a brother.
Well, he did admit the style that we play now. I'll give you that.
The showboaty style, what they would call it. But it's essentially
he was popping threes before there was a 3-point line.
Yes.
Shit.
Can you run back your list one more time? Because there was a name in there I wanted to ask you.
MJ, of course.
Yeah, you said MJ.
And this is what I call my first 3 are the Holy Trinity. You know,
you can put them in any order. I don't think there's much of an argument.
Nobody's got an argument.
They're all, you know, they're all.
Someone's like, Kobe, Michael, LeBron, Kobe, Michael. The people like
Michael is the father.
Yeah.
Kobe is the son.
Okay.
And LeBron is the Holy Spirit.
I give you that.
That's just what it is. I mean,
I feel you.
That's most people's top 3. Most people's top 3 is them.
So and then. Everybody else, you know, he got the pupils down there and all the whatever. Mm-hmm. But Pistol, he got to be there. Shaq.
No, that wasn't the name.
Shaq is there because, I mean, the dominant.
Most dominant basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, you know?
Well, that's not including Wilt because
I wanted to put him in there too, but I was like,
Wilt's the most dominant player of all time, and we'll talk about this on my list. But
I don't believe it's 100-point game though.
No,
so that's
there's no proof of it. But
that's why
it's also Wilt played at a time where he was like the second big man to ever really play the game. Like it was him, and then it was
Bill Russell.
Not Bill, the other one, the white
Micken.
Yes,
oh,
him,
and
then Wilt. So it's like
so Shaq was on there. Then Tracy.
That's what there is. Tracy McGrady.
Hell yeah, Tracy for the Magic. And then when he came to the Rockets,
I was going to say he was going to overtake Kobe if he doesn't get injured. I think he would have been a better player.
Tracy, but
we're not working on woulda, coulda, shoulda though.
I know.
We asked him
but you still said top 10, and that's somebody he believes is to be.
What I'm saying is like with Tracy McGrady, when I was thinking about peak players at their peak moments.
Okay.
How good they were.
That's real.
And comparing them to how good everybody else was.
Okay.
So I'm not saying like Tracy McGrady was never able to get over that hump. He was never that leader.
No.
That. You know that he never had that Kobe in him or that LeBron. Not even a LeBron.
He never got the. Well, he got a ring, but he got it as a bench player. Like, I don't know if y'all count that.
Which one? What do you?
He got a ring with the Spurs.
Are you sure?
So I mean, I don't know if y'all count that.
I do.
I count that just because during the regular season he wasn't a regular contributor, but there were nights they pulled him off the bench and he would have 16 points. 5 rebounds. There were nights he actually scored to help them get to that playoff run that they had.
And at the end of the day, he was a bucket.
He was
a bucket.
Walking
you cannot say Tracy wasn't a bucket. And there was a couple of people I wanted to put in that place. Like I was thinking Jamal Crawford or like Monte Ellis or something. Like those are just some of my favorite players.
You got a lot of fringe players, man.
Yeah, you got a lot of players that like you got hoopers, but it's like
that's what I'm saying.
It's like
you got a good hooper.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are hoopers. Like these are dudes that can go to any gym in America and will fuck you up.
Exactly.
I don't give a damn who you are. They will go to any gym, any 24, any Fondy, any.
They don't know about Fondy. Anybody in Houston know about Fondy.
Denver Harbor. I think it's all like Houston places.
The Ruckers. Everybody knows the Ruckers.
Yeah. Any gym.
On topic though, would you if we had the opportunity to go play at the Ruckers, would you do it?
Man, I would love to. I've never been to New York. I always wanted to just one summer go out there and just go to all the little parks and just.
Bro, I'd be too scared to play at the Ruckers. I just know it'd be the day I get done.
I'll be talking
across so bad.
Like, what's up, nigga? What up, nigga?
It's weird. It's weird to have a story, but my homeboy that hoops went out there and played, and he said it's more of a culture thing. Everybody out there can't hoop like it seems. You'll go to Rucker and you'll get buckets, and they'll be looking at you like, nigga, we gonna whoop your ass. You shouldn't be out here doing that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the basketball culture part. Exactly. It's more of the culture of the basketball that's in the city that resides over Rucker. So it seems like, damn, everybody can hoop there. It's not like that. Well, what he told me, I'd like to do what you said. I'd like to go to Rucker and play too.
Yeah, but I played in Venice before though.
We also from Texas. We don't play the same plants.
Venice is fun.
That's dope.
Like as people from Texas, we probably don't play the same style of basketball as they do in New York. So,
Possibly, yes. A lot of us play football, so we have a run downhill style of basketball from this state at least. If you hooped, I didn't really hoop, but that's how I hooped. He
went to school.
I'll tell you this. Basketball is the same everywhere. I will tell you this. Now, when you say different styles, people have different tendencies. People like to do different things, but it's all the same. Like you either gonna get to the rack or you can shoot. You either can shoot or you can't shoot. You either can play defense or you can't play defense. It's like it's not really like anything. It's not like football where it's like an offense that you run. Like you have a run and gun team or you have a team that walks the ball up the court. It's like It's either this or that. It's not.
Are you getting buckets?
Yeah.
Or are you stopping the other?
It's different ways to get buckets, and people come out with more creative ways to get buckets all the time. Like I look at LaMelo Ball, like I was not into him at first, but now that I keep watching him, like he just keeps coming up with creative ways to get buckets to score, and it's amazing to watch. This was us.
And I want to make it clear because I don't think you said it. Cyril's list is I'm correct me if I'm wrong. He's not saying these 10 people had the best careers in basketball.
No.
I don't think that's what. I don't think that's what your list is saying.
I think these are just, and I don't even want to say my favorites, but these are just straight up ballers at their peak moment when they were playing, when they were probably 25, 26 years old. They were the best player at their moment in their time. Like they were good. Now.
See, and my initial reaction would have been like, bro, Pistol Pete, you think he had the best career? But you're not saying the best career. You're saying who do you think was basically a walking bucket.
If you were watching Pistol Pete at the time, you would have been like, man, I want to go to one of his games. If he's coming to play the Rockets, I need to go see him play. You know, like you would have been like that. People would have been saying that. Maybe not you in particular, but people would have been like Zion coming or someone's coming to town. I want to go watch them. Like people wanted to watch Pistol Pete play.
To be clear, again.
And he was a bucket.
Because people are dumb. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, you put Pistol Pete on the list, but you didn't put Karl Malone. You tell me Karl Malone didn't have a better career than Pistol Pete? Like,
no.
These are people you would want on your squad. See, I took my list a little different. I did mine like based off of like entirety of career. Who had a better career? And again, we'll get into that when it's on me.
And then Stephen Curry. I mean, Stephen Curry was. See, when I was in high school, Stephen Curry was my favorite player.
Really?
Like college player.
Yeah.
I watched him at Davidson. Like I literally watched him. I was like, I watched him score 0 points in one game, and then the next game he scored like 35. Like went crazy. And I was like, oh shit! It was so inspirational. So I just like, I like him. When he got to the league, I was hella happy for him. I
was kind of the same way.
I was like, oh shit! I love when niggas get jobs.
Yeah,
like I'm happy for Carmelo. You know?
Yeah. Shout out to Carmelo.
I love when
Portland about to get a ring.
You feel me? I love. Stop.
But Carmelo, the best basketball player of the last 20 years.
Stop. He ain't on this list. You know what's crazy though? I did think Melo was better than LeBron at one point in my life though.
I can't argue on that. I thought he was too.
Yeah, I think.
And he probably was better.
Yeah,
than
if you're looking at it from a scoring standpoint.
Oh, he's definitely the best
just a bigger than life player. He was most definitely a better scorer, and he used to get his ass a lot when they played those one-on-ones.
You think
LeBron?
LeBron?
I think he had a scoring title, and LeBron doesn't have a scoring title. I might be wrong there.
Do you think Carmelo is watching LeBron work right now and thinking, hey, I'm in my 17th. I can do the same thing LeBron's doing.
Probably a piece of him probably does, just because as a competitor, you normally feel like there's nobody, like you said, I'm the best basketball player of all time.
But I pick up those
those
OKC years, and I don't see him doing like great things for Portland. I think he can be a good scorer for them, but if you're thinking you're picking up Melo to be that one piece away,
when we say good scorer, what do we say? 12?
No,
10.
I think he can get 15. I think he can get 15 to 18 a night.
I think that's a stretch. I think we're asking for a lot from him.
Well, I'm just saying, even the
especially,
idea, I don't think now, but I think you were saying just like, what did I believe is a good scorer? I think a good scorer was 15 to 18 score a night.
But I don't think he'll get an opportunity to do it. He won't get that many minutes. I feel like he won't get that many minutes. I could be wrong.
Dame and them, I don't know.
I need Melo to come in. I need him to play D, but he's not gonna do that. And I need him to play that third string or second string. I need him just to lead them, and that's it. I mean, he just gotta come in trying hard and understand that this probably is your last year right here. So just go out with a bang,
or at least his last chance.
Yes.
And
I'd love to see the set with him and McCollum on the floor without Dame and see how they score.
Now, if he come back and he does, but he has to play defense. Like, that's gonna be.
That's a big ass for someone that doesn't
play defense.
No, bro, but
or hasn't played defense. We've seen him do it.
He's been a lockdown defender at points in times in his career.
It's not like you can't play. It's
a choice.
Yes.
It's like, well, you also got to remember he is in his 17th year and. Cardio is you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get tired if you play both sides of basketball.
And these young whippersnappers is running around here.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy to me is how does James Harden be gassed at the end of the game? My nigga, you don't play defense. Are you exerting that much offense, that much energy on offense?
And he's a different type of dude right there.
He's load bearing, man. Like, I think he's like the only overweight NBA superstar in history. Like, he seems to be overweight. It works well for him, but like, he doesn't seem like he's in like expert shape.
Yeah,
It seems like
you're not saying he's fat. You're just saying for what he does, he's over.
He's just overweight. Yeah, because like most of us for our height and weight, we're obese to a certain extent.
Of course, yeah.
So.
I think technically I am.
I am. I'm 5'8", almost 200 pounds. Like I'm obese for my height.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, if he puts, like he just has a stomach. That's what fucks me up every time seeing him play.
But he still be booming on
his arms. His arms are so flabby looking. It's just crazy.
He still be getting that shit. And he got that first step is quick.
That's another thing too. I've seen that even the OKC years is his first step was kind of like undefeated. So
but he does get exposed. So.
To be expected.
You know
basketball.
No, I thought you were about to expand on that. I thought you had something.
No, I'm saying he gets exposed. Like
in the playoffs every year.
Every year. So I don't care what James Harden does because he gets exposed every single year.
So do you think James Harden you would have?
So he's not on my list.
You gonna say to go to your list? Do you think you would put James Harden on your squad to who? Like if you needed to win a game to save your life, you putting James Harden over Steph Curry?
Yeah. No.
You put Steph Curry over James Harden. Save my life.
I think Steph Curry is a better shooter.
Oh, I mean that's without question. He's the best shooter of all time.
Yes.
But as overall player, they both defense is lacking.
Stephen Curry's defense is on ball defense. He might. I don't know. Never mind.
He used to get a lot of steals. If you want to count the whole getting steals.
I don't know.
But see, it's like normally off of like somebody he would pickpocket somebody basically.
Yeah, some of the worst of the worst
when it comes to defense.
Yeah, it's like
that's crazy that
I don't know.
I think defense is making a resurgence. I'll say that because we went for a few years where it's like all the superstars didn't play defense. It was like Harden, you don't play defense. KD, you don't play defense. Even though we know you do, you just don't. It's like, and then I guess when Kawhi has won his title, and he's now like trying to be the face of the league, and you know
what I think about Kawhi though? I think his leg is fucked up. Like, I think he has
an actual chronic.
I think it's something that
goes without saying.
Yeah, and I think that's stopping him from getting to that neck. But they want him to get like as far as like. For the brand and for the Clippers and for him and for the NBA, they want him to get to that, overtake LeBron, but he can't physically.
I just say keep beating LeBron when it matters. That's how you overtake him.
That's how you do it. And that's what KD did.
Exactly.
KD can't beat LeBron when it was with the Warriors, but
still,
you still beat LeBron when it matters. You showed up. Even though you did have a high power team in the two finals that you played LeBron, you outplayed LeBron. You outplayed everybody on the court. So. We can't take that away from you, but you did play on.
You played on an all-world team. With or without you to a certain extent. So it's like.
But
all right, my last two: Larry Bird and KD.
See, the only reason I argue KD and Steph on your list, and again, this is not my list, so I can't really tell you what to think. But too new. Yeah. That's exactly where it's like we haven't seen where it ends just yet. We see where LeBron's going to end. So if you're on, he's on your list. It's like okay, you're going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, KD didn't come out. He came out with 07.
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen with KD. I think KD hasn't reached his full potential and I don't think he will.
It's unfortunate he probably won't now.
I think but I think that was in his mind. Yeah. Like I think that set him back more than anything. Like he didn't know he was as good as he really was.
Yeah.
And he was always he never really was compared to LeBron, which he should have been compared to LeBron. And that would have been the thing that would have put him over. But now he's not even in the conversation. But if you're looking at the pure basketball standpoint, like KD's probably a better basketball player than LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like he's a better shooter. He's a better passer. He plays better defense.
Longer.
And this is like
strong. I mean, not stronger, but faster.
He's faster. He's not stronger. He's longer. He's taller.
He has never had the same durability that LeBron has.
Yeah.
So put an end on your segment of your top 10. Let's go through your top 10 one more time
and I like Larry Bird because Larry Bird was just a straight bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's Larry. Great. And I did leave off Magic. Could have put him on there too, but whatever. So like I said, Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. That's the Holy Trinity. Pistol, Shaq, Tracy, Steph, Penny, Larry, KD.
And that's the list. It is. All right, brother Kenton, our illustrious guest. I don't even know if you wanted to go with by your actual name, but it's too late now.
You got a nickname?
I usually go by KJ.
Street name?
Yeah.
Rapper name?
And Genton.
Genton.
Yeah.
Oh, you rapper?
No.
Oh.
I'll just say rapper name. You know, you ever put up
Everybody got a rapper
Oh, you rapper up?
Nah, everybody got a rapper name.
You ever put up that random Instagram and you just kind of set it up as like you about to put out an EP and you know you're not put out nothing?
Oh, yeah.
I do that every once in a while.
I got hella album cover pictures.
Thank you, serious. Like,
No album.
No, you better not drop no album, but
I will actually say, when you do post on your Instagram, it does like you were like, this nigga think he got a mixtape coming? I give you that. Because it's always like on top of your car.
Always album cover pictures. I don't even know how to take regular pictures.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Brother Kenton. By the way, my rapper name is Lil Nonchalant. Brother Kenton, what is your...
Jebediah the Destroyer.
Yeah, we talked about this reaction now that I think about it. So yeah, let's
how did you construct your list?
I tried to go like bona fides, so like individual trophies, individual accomplishments, and then like team wins. So like any championships you won is like the last thing that I would use. I try to do defensive player of the years, MVPs, finals MVP, stuff like that. And so I built mine a little bit differently just based on like some of the better players per their position in the NBA. So if I go from like 10 to 1, I got LeBron, Larry Bird, Will Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's my number one. That's my GOAT.
Wow, you put Kareem as the GOAT?
I heard a lot of big men.
Yeah,
I love big men, bro. I love big men. I've always been short, but I've always loved the big men.
So how did Olajuwon not make your list? If you've got big men.
I don't know. I usually pick Shaq instead of Olajuwon because I could interchange them either way. Yeah. I love Olajuwon, but I love Shaq more just because I was a Lakers fan as a kid. Shaq was the most dominant center in my mind to ever play the game, and so Olajuwon and Dirk are like, I'd have to say those are probably my two honorable mentions. They could go anywhere between, I'd say 7 to 10 just because of how much I actually like them. But
yeah, Hakeem was. Come on now. And he did Shaq dirty.
Exactly. David Robinson, any center
he did everybody dirty.
Exactly.
He did everybody dirty.
So, but I just
and let's be real. He's the first big. So yeah, that's true. But Jordan in the league. He was the first big man to start. And correct me if I'm wrong. Like to have like a little bit of some range. Not saying he was a 3-point shooter, but he had range.
The jumper,
now that's what that's all the big men now. Like Embiid gonna pull a 3.
Yes.
Cat gonna probably try and pull a 3.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just. Speaking of, did we talk about that fight? We talked about that fight. Okay, yeah. The little cupcake fight.
Exactly.
Cat, he got ever since Jimmy Butler called.
Oh yeah, he got. He been waiting to fight somebody.
Yeah, he trying to get that. He trying to get everybody.
He wouldn't have did that to Jimmy Butler though. Butler would have beat his ass.
I was saying. That's what he seemed like. He
beat his ass again.
Allegedly.
He pumped him that day in practice. Wiggins dapped him up, and he didn't really talk to nobody else. I was like, they all scared of that.
I wouldn't. At that point, it's like you can't fight him. It's like I'm not. If you're willing to run with the third strings and still talk shit, you clearly are very confident in your hands.
Hell yeah.
You took a run up on somebody.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go back to your list.
Yes, sir.
LeBron at 10.
Yeah, I'll just say for me, I'm not a real big LeBron fan. I can be realistic and say that dude is one of the greatest players to ever play basketball, regardless of whether I like him or not. He isn't the greatest winner, which that's always hard to do because they've never really constructed the greatest teams around him. So
to be fair, LeBron has had a big part in a lot of teams he's been on.
Yeah,
a big part.
And even at
he has a big part. He is the part.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's like wherever team he goes to, like
he builds guys. His teams.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not what
he's
talking about in the construction of the team.
Like when his first one went to Cleveland, I'll give you that. He didn't have no choice with that.
7 years.
Yeah, but and then probably not with Miami. You can't really do nothing with Miami. So
they constructed that. I mean,
he was the one that put that together.
It was I think more than anything, it was like I think. Wade and Bosh was going to go wherever LeBron went, but they were going to go as a group. And I think, let's be real, if you could live in any city in America that has an NBA team, Miami is not a bad choice.
I don't know why.
Or LA.
Or LA.
Either of the LAs. You could still suck with the Clippers and still make a lot of money and enjoy California.
You're like, it's a good city to be in.
Yes, it is.
It's not like you're going to be in like New York where it's freezing cold in February.
Or Cleveland.
Like, and then on the flip side of that, you're not like in Phoenix where it's hot as fuck for no fucking reason. Like there's no beach.
We're in Houston.
See, I'll take the Heat, but
Fairly
they're
comfortable.
just Arizona ain't the place.
I mean, I would love to go to Houston. You honestly.
Wait, why don't people like Houston?
Probably the humidity. I think Houston just gets a bad rap.
NBA players, like, because I mean, we're the fourth largest city in America.
Exactly.
People move here. Thousands and thousands of people move here every month.
I don't get it.
It's kind of the same thing, like what people don't really not like in Dallas. It's just like there's an outward perception of like the city itself, and people always listen to that perception instead of like some people just go to the city.
People think it's country.
Yeah, so that's exactly where I was going to go. I think
horses and shit.
Yeah, when you ask anybody, like, it was like, oh, you're from Texas, so people do people ride horses? I'll be like, look, yes. They do. But not everybody ride horse. Like, yes, in the middle of a busy street in Houston, Texas, you will see a nigga riding a horse.
You may see.
However,
you never see traffic.
We don't all wear cowboy hats.
No.
Even though we probably all own one, or at least the cowboy boots.
I have had, but I don't know.
I've had cowboy boots and I have had a hat because you know in
there's
third
a
grade
picture of me somewhere with a fucking 10-gallon hat on and some cowboy boots.
Yeah, but
fucking 12 years old, looking real rodeo.
And they think we're like they think it's like it's racist as fuck out here. It's like but not in the big cities.
Well,
we're in the good thing.
Thank you, Cyril. We're gonna be realistic. Like anywhere you go,
at least they're outward with it. Shit.
But we all know that all major cities are ran by liberals, and so
but yes,
I ain't even went nowhere. What I'm saying is, you can go to any city and you're
gonna go blue.
You're gonna be liberated.
But that is. I mean, if you look at the last Dallas, Houston, I think San Antonio, for sure Austin, they all went blue in the last election.
All of them.
So,
yeah, I mean that's every major city though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go out of Texas. That's every major.
Those are the people to be fair to you, that liberals never talk to. They never talk to the people that are in the country or people that don't live in
and look at the mayor.
big city.
Usually the mayors are liberals as well. Yeah, usually.
But that's because there are more people that live in the rural areas in America than they do in the cities.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
We have thousands of miles of space in America, but yet we congregate in the same little area. And normally that is going to be the liberals thinking people, and no one ever thinks about the farm workers or the people that work out in the fields, like shit like that.
People think about them. They think about them.
Yeah, they think about the big city.
Don't get it twisted. They think about it.
They just don't talk to them.
It's just in the city. It's just that's what it is. The city is the city, and the rural area is the rural area. I mean,
and you stick to what you know.
There's a reason why they call those things flyover states. Because people disrespect the Midwest. Like there's not a million people in Cleveland. Like there's not a million people in Detroit, or at least close to it. You know what I'm saying? Like these are big ass cities. St. Louis, Chicago. These are all Chicago's. You know that they know.
The infrastructure is bad, and then supposedly the people are bad, and so then it just has like a bad image. But it's like it's not really.
Long story short, Texas is not.
That's what I'm saying. This don't answer, but why do people?
Why do you not want to be in Houston?
Why do you want to play for the Rockets?
I think, and again, I think it's a mix of all the things we just said. They in their mind, they think Texas is going to be a deep South state where you know we got playing banjos and riding horses and.
Same thing like Dallas doesn't attract any people. Don't like the owners.
Well,
the NBA players don't like the owners.
I think that you might be right on that one. I can't argue that.
I will go and note to say that Rockets owners do be on bullshit.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Mavericks owners be on bullshit. So it's
but see, at least with Cuban, he's more of a players owner. Like at least he respects his players. He treats his players well.
The thing with Mark Cuban though, he is he looks like a. I don't know. He just look like he's doing some shit under the table.
He is, bro. That's why I've never really cared for him running the team. I like the Mavericks at points in times, but him individually just kind of puts like a film. It comes like a film over the team. Like, oh wow, it's the Mavericks. Oh god.
To be clear, you are from Dallas. We're from Houston. So yes, I'm gonna put that out there. But am I the only one that doesn't know what Mark Cuban did to get money? Like, how is he rich? Like, what's his job?
I mean, supposedly or allegedly, he came up like from the bottom doing like door-to-door salesman and stuff.
Yeah,
and had his own.
I think wasn't it internet fame? Like some company he had on the internet popped and he sold it. And then I
know he said he did door-to-door salesing. I know he did that. He was an entrepreneur though. So he did a lot of different businesses.
Yeah, that's how he got big. Was entrepreneurial.
became successful, some failed, and he just.
That's something to add. That's something to look up, dude. I've never really like questioned that.
No, I watched Shark Tank. Like I literally, I watched it. So like that's what he said on there. This is his words.
And like I know he's not just the owner of it. Like there's only I think probably like Jim Jones. I mean Jerry Jones. That's the only.
Jim Jones.
Yeah. And not I think Jerry Jones is like the only owner I can think of that's his only job. Like, of course,
yes,
you know, he had worked in the oil field.
Where all of his money is simply only tied in. The same thing with the Lakers are the same way. Yeah, their money is only tied in.
Oh, yeah, because it's about the family.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm
nothing
sure
else.
See, with like, even with Jerry, though, I'm pretty sure he still got, you know, stocks and shit.
Oh, yeah. He make money, but it's like, but like you're saying, though, his main function
But he don't have another job. He's not working at
no.
Yeah. And that's why he's the only, I think he's like one of the only owners that's also the GM. Like, I think it's like him and.
Which is why the Cowboys haven't been good in 20 years.
Who?
Jerry Jones is the only owner and GM. Most people that own it hire a GM, so because they buy it as like how we had bread, we would buy a car. They got bread, we buy a sports team. That's the ultimate flex.
Yeah, and
well, you know, we could buy stock in the Packers.
Well, that's they're owned by the team.
They're owned by
the state of the city. I don't remember.
No, they're a publicly traded company.
Yeah, they're the only publicly traded NFL.
You can't do it anymore, though.
No.
I wouldn't want to buy a package.
Well, because you can't. You essentially, like, we as fans, if we had enough money, we still can't have enough money to go buy tickets half the time to go to those games. Because they sell the tickets first to the people of the city, and then they give the away team, and then all that kind of stuff. It's like half the time when you get there, nosebleed
That's
seats.
why them houses always sold out.
Yeah, they make sure they sell them to the people who live there first.
Yeah, I just thought about that shit though.
Smart.
My thing is, and going back to the original, the Rockets. Why don't people want to play? Why don't people go to Rockets games?
Because they just are not.
The people that live here.
No one wants to watch that. We actually just had a conversation about that just today. James Harden does not put asses in seats.
That's crazy.
Because James Harden will go to pick a city. Give me a city.
Portland.
Who go play? Well, see, Portland probably sells out because you know they have
okay. No.
You said Orlando. You said Orlando.
Yeah, I use Orlando only. He'll go to Orlando and no one's gonna show up. But you know, if LeBron goes to Orlando, sell out because we want to see LeBron.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm saying like we got a guy that can drop 40 with his eyes closed.
Yeah. It just people don't
without
like
even hitting a fucking field goal.
To be fair, I sat there and watched Harden play before, and was like, oh shit, this nigga's stat line is crazy right now. You don't even see it. You don't see it happening. Like, how the fuck did this happen? You know, we're not being fair. Let's go back to your list.
Yeah, Gucci, but we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
But like, I just built mine per se, like who I thought was like per se the greatest players.
Yeah,
so,
let's run through your list one more time.
To me, I'll go from 1 to 10 this time. So my GOAT is Kareem, then it goes Jordan, then Bill Russell, then Tim Duncan, then Shaq. Then I got Kobe, Magic, Wilt, Larry Bird, and LeBron James.
Yeah. I don't have an argument.
I like the Tim Duncan one. I like the Tim.
I'll talk to you about Tim. He may or may not be on my list.
Okay.
I like Tim.
We may.
He was an honorable mention on me too as well.
We may or may not talk about.
He's probably one of the best power forwards.
I looked it up. Like I said, when I did my research for it, like realistically, the only person in NBA history that has better stats at that position is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you look at points, rebounds, and field goals made, the only person better than him in NBA history is Kareem.
But Kareem played the 5 spot.
Kareem did play the 5, but I'm just saying like stats wise, maybe not the per the position, but I'm saying like nobody has better stats than him but Kareem. So it's like it's hard not to put him on anybody's list. You got defensive, the defensive, all defensive team, the MVPs, the Finals MVPs, the 15-time All-Star. It's like it's just kind of hard not to put him on list when you say the greatest basketball players of all time to me. Then the whole Wilt thing you talked about that earlier.
Best scorer of all time.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Kareem real quick.
Yes, sir.
So Kareem obviously would never take anything away from Kareem.
Yeah.
But better than Jordan?
Yeah, okay, like, what's the major thing that when you say Jordan, one of the major things you say that he's better is because he's a two of the other greater statistical winners than him are Bill Russell and Kareem. Okay. He's won at every level he's played at.
Kareem
high school,
also has more
college,
MVPs.
Everything, and the NBA. Then you got the fear fact that he's top 3 in points, rebounds, field goals made, and minutes played. He beats Jordan in all of that.
Okay, but
besides championships, that's the only thing Jordan beats.
If you were to watch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play, and you watch Michael Jordan play,
they're both greatest of all time buckets. Nobody could guard the sky hook. Just like nobody could really guard Jordan.
Okay,
was,
but
was also
sky hook,
not a 5. Like Jordan played the 2.
Yeah,
but
like
sky hook as cool as the jump man dunk.
To us, it's not. Our parents probably like that sky hook. Who be killing it?
Who the hell is doing the sky hook in 2019?
You can't.
I'm just telling you.
People look retarded.
But our biggest gripe is essentially just like preference. Who we like to see play. Yeah. And I'm somebody that, like I said, I like the center position. We talked about that earlier, that it's dying. But I would love to see somebody play back to the basket the entire game.
No, that's not coming. That is not coming.
See,
back.
I thought
centers are going to come back.
I thought it was coming back. I honestly thought like it was about to be
like Jokic.
He's still got a face-up game now.
I thought it was going to be when Boogie and AD got together. I was like, oh, we about to have big man basketball again.
That is true.
No, that was
exactly. I was like, why? Why y'all doing it? Like you have the number 1 best center in the league and arguably the number 2 best center in the league. Why are y'all not just every play just lobs?
So AD did not have to play the 5. That's the only reason why they brought DeMarcus Cousins. He did not want to play the 5, and he was like, he got the 5. I get to play the 4 now.
Get your big asses in the post. Ain't nobody about to stop you 2 in the post. No one has a 4 and a 5 that can hold both of you. They can hold y'all.
But people miss that. People miss that part of it. Is that like, you are probably the biggest person on the floor.
Yeah.
The other center on the other team probably isn't anywhere near as big as you are. Just go bully him, go get a bucket, and run back and play deep.
Bruh, I really thought that was going to be the beginning of the resurgence.
You did. Well, I'm sitting at the house live as hell, and he get hurt. And
the resurgence of big man basketball.
Nah.
Nope.
We're not coming back. We're going to have to wait another 10 years.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
We'll see.
We're going to have to wait. Because even the best man we have is Joel Embiid.
Well, no, I mean, it could come back.
As far as solid big man, back to the basket.
Well, and you know, they kind of found it, but they kind of got the book on him too. And he don't have a lot of he don't have a lot of moves.
No, he don't have a lot of moves.
He don't have a lot of moves.
But
so
I can't think of anybody else.
I think
Boogie gonna come back when
he's not a 5.
When Boogie comes back, he'll probably have a good chance of playing.
I think Horford's a better center than he is though.
Al Horford?
Yeah. Just literally basketball, not like 40. Yeah. He is, but I'm talking about when they play each other, he usually dominates Embiid. And I'm talking about on the idea of like rebounding and scoring. I wouldn't call him soft. Yes. I just don't think
he's sensitive. I won't say he's soft. He's sensitive.
I'll give you that. I just don't think he hasn't grasped that position yet. I think he's been a really good athlete, and he hasn't grasped like, hey dog, like I think Charles Barkley said you need 2 moves in a counter. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff he doesn't have. He doesn't have a game good enough to dominate other players that just know how to play the position than he does.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right. Well, to put a close out, let's run through this one more time.
There was something in there that I heard.
Okay, I'll go 10-1 just to make sure. It's LeBron James, Larry Bird, Will Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. Then we have Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I mean, I ain't mad at it, but the only thing is the Kareem and the Bills. I mean, we ain't really watching them. We don't really.
And I'm glad you said that because that's going to be perfect for when we talk about my list, and I'll tell you, and I'll get at that.
Respected.
And yeah, I respect your list. I respect.
What you got?
So let me run through my list. I'm gonna start with my honorable mention. Well, actually, let me put a caveat on my list. I wanted to make sure that I made my list with. I didn't want to have like how old niggas would do, like they have like a bias like you gotta add niggas from like the 70s and the 60s but the level of competition was not there.
I want to stop you there, bud. The level of competition was there. Okay, it was there.
They weren't letting niggas in the league at that point. Come on, bro.
Man, they were doing their thing, alright? But
they weren't letting niggas in the league in the 60s.
I'm not taking nothing away from the 70s players.
I think that's more of a conversation of skill versus talent. That's the conversation that's then from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Because what were they going off of? Like, they were the pioneers. They were the one. Like they were going off of people that weren't even dribbling the ball.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to have a bias and be like,
well, you can't say they weren't athletes though. They weren't. They were
athletic for that time. They're not. They're not an athlete for this time. But that's not the point. Now, the point I'm saying is I didn't want to be biased because people like to put on their blinders when it comes to like older players. When it comes to like and then on the flip side of that, I didn't want anybody new because I don't want to have like new bias. Like I see Steph Curry, so I think Steph Curry is the best. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that was my my kind of going into it, and on top of that, I did 5 slots were locks, who I thought were the best 1, the best 2, the best 3, the best 4, and the best 5.
That's the first 5?
No, not the first 5. I just meant those were locks to make it on my top 10.
Exactly. Okay.
If they were the best player at that position, and then I filled in the gaps where I wanted to, and then added people up and down, and they're who's better, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So let's start off with some honorable mentions. My honorable mentions on the list are Dr. J, Hakeem Olajuwon, and again, let me take a step back. Dr. J, I didn't add him on my top 10 just because. The time period, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I didn't see him shoot like
I didn't see him do it, so I don't know. Yeah,
a little bit.
It was more of like the flashiness of it, you know what I'm saying? Like the smoothness of his game.
Man.
So yeah, Dr. J, Olajuwon. I wanted to put Olajuwon on my top 10 because I want to put him as like number 1 or not the number 3 or 4 best big man of all time, but I couldn't put him on. He didn't make the top 10.
I can see that.
Carmelo, I made him as an honorable mention just to show that I'm not biased because I hate Carmelo as a player and as a person for that matter.
Yeah, he is a fucked up.
You're a horrible human. But I mean, he's like the number 2 most points scored in the league. He's also could be argued.
I forgot about that.
I wouldn't. If someone argues he's the best power forward of all time, I can't argue that. Yeah. I don't think he's the best power forward of all time, but. I'll hear the argument, and then Bill Russell.
Right. Just gonna say I like that, Sir. I think that's the best way to describe him.
Even all the stats he got and all that.
I feel like the whole Jazz team, they were just alright.
But they were a good team. That's the thing. They were a good team.
A bunch of alright niggas.
Yeah, they were on a good team. That's how it goes. Now, all right. So get to my top 10 list. Start with Shaq. Was number 10.
Okay.
Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird. Number 7 was Magic Johnson. Number 6, Kobe Bryant. Number 5 was Tim Duncan. Number 4 was Magic Johnson. Wait, hold on. I put Magic on here twice. I fucked up. Y'all see. Okay. Kareem at number 3, LeBron at number 2, and my number 1 best basketball player of all time. It was so hard for me to do this, just because when we talk about him on the podcast. So I always say LeBron versus this man, and it really pains me to put him at number 1, but the best NBA player of all time, I gotta say. It is Allen Iverson, hands down. I don't hear no other arguments. A man that's 5'10" out here was the MVP in a league where niggas was 6'8" and above. I don't want to hear it. Allen Iverson is the best basketball player of all time. Period.
Okay.
Best basketball player of all time. That's my top 10.
Best pound for pound player.
Best pound for pound. Best player of all. No, I'm just kidding. My number 1 best basketball player of all time is Michael Jordan. Now, it was a toss up between Jordan and LeBron, who I want to put number 1.
Why?
Why number 1 though? The list I understand, but number 1.
LeBron can never be number 1.
This is where it came down to.
Excruciating.
This is where it came down to. Who had the higher player efficiency rating of all time? Michael Jordan is number 1. LeBron is number 2.
Okay.
PER, and that's where it went. And then, but also you got to remember, look, Jordan did play on some pretty good teams. To be fair, so everybody argues that Jordan is better than LeBron just off of rings, and I'm not one of those people. I will never argue because this person has more rings, they're better than them. Because there's more to that than just the rings. Because to me, I think Jordan, he transcended the game. Had he not won those rings, he still would have had a hellified career. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were still going out of their way to stop Jordan in the regular season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I think the rings definitely set you to the next upper echelon, because without rings, you can't really make any type of top 10 list.
Tough.
But I think Jordan, and again, LeBron's career is not over with yet. We don't know where it's going to end up. And I think with a lot of us, when it comes to LeBron, we look at LeBron like he'll never be Jordan, the same way that we were looking at Kobe all these years, like, oh, Kobe's really not all that good. But when he retired, everybody was like, you know what? Kobe actually was pretty goddamn good. Kobe was nice.
You think that? I feel like people were the opposite with Kobe. I feel like when he retired, people started saying, Kobe wasn't even all that. Kobe, he got out of the conversation.
You just have to look at those last few years of Kobe. That's why people don't say Kobe is as good as he was. Is because he didn't maintain what we saw later like we did. I don't think Jordan was great, but a 38-year-old Michael Jordan was hell on the NBA.
Yeah.
And so as an older player, you just expect them to be somewhere closer to what they were. And he was just basically, He just, to me, I love Kobe, but he's just the greatest volume shooter of all time.
Well,
he is the greatest.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that.
That's what I'm saying. And so that entire league,
he's coming up. He'll be next.
Yeah,
He'll be next.
I think James Harden is going to overtake him before.
Kobe was not taking as many shots as James Harden.
Hell no.
Yeah, but
some games, but not all the time.
But it wasn't even the same type of league. Like, see, Kobe was taking the shots. I was about to say he was taking good shots. I was getting ready to say that.
Bro, did you see that graph? Like all the shots he took from behind the goal. Did you see that graph?
Yeah.
But the shots that Kobe was taking, they were vindictive, I guess. They had something behind. Like James Harden just be chunking them hoes up, bro.
I feel like Kobe was going for level of difficulty almost. Sometimes his shots he was going for a level of difficulty. But you can tell he practiced them hoes. I feel like James Harden, sometimes he just goes there between the legs a few times and he don't even feel it. And he just chunked that hoe up because he already know he got the green light so he can do that. I feel like Kobe never shot a shot that he thought he would miss. He missed a lot. He missed a lot of shots.
But I don't think he ever shot a shot that he was like,
I mean, we all know.
And we know James Harden, he be praying.
What pissed me off about Kobe, remember his last game? He shot like 80 times. I don't remember how many times it was. But we celebrated that shit.
He had 60 shots. He had 60 shots for 60 points.
Bro,
60 shots?
No, it was like 40 for 40. It was like 40. It was crazy.
He had a lot of shots.
Yeah,
like
in comparison,
like 29 shots.
No, he had a lot of points. It was a good solid game.
It was just, I'm saying shots.
No, they matched. I remember it being like, bro,
it was close.
It was like, bruh, and we celebrated that. It was like Kobe went out with a bang.
But and they won. They kicked Utah out of playoff contention, and he scored 60 points, and they won a game they were essentially supposed to lose.
Yeah, so
that's the only reason why he got celebrated. The one thing I wanted to say about the whole Jordan and LeBron thing is like you can essentially really take the championships away and look at their bona fides individually. Scoring champions, defensive player of the years, MVPs, finals MVPs. If you look at those, Jordan was essentially a better player because like how you win a defensive player at 6'6", a decent player of the year at 6'6", and I think he was on the MVP list that same year. So if you take those things away, the scoring titles is the one that I have to set above when you talk about Jordan and LeBron. Like, if you can win a scoring title every year, why didn't you? He said it in an interview one time, and I'm like, if you're a great scorer, which I believe you are, why can't you do some of those things? If you already consider yourself the GOAT, why didn't you do those things when you were the GOAT? You were the greatest player to ever play at a certain point. So I just threw that as a caveat to that part of the conversation.
Well, when I did my 5, like the best point guard I think of all time, I think we have to say Magic, right?
Yes.
Number 2, the best 2 of all time we have to say is Jordan.
Yes.
Number 3 would have to be the best 3 of all time is LeBron. 4, I think, is Tim Duncan. That's my own personal choice. And 5, I think Shaq.
You have your best 3 of all time is LeBron.
Yes, that's who I think the best.
He's probably the best. He's probably the best small forward ever.
Okay, okay.
And when you say 3, you got to say small forward.
Yeah,
when you say 3, I'm like,
you thinking like, oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's the 3rd best player of all time.
Like, D Wade is one of those top tier 3s, and so it's like,
but he played 2.
Yeah, I would give him a 2.
He played 2.
He played 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's 3 is more like DeMar DeRozan or something.
Yeah, DeMar,
Rudy Gay,
Carmelo.
Okay, that's me then.
From Luke, I'm just blanking on.
So I'm saying because if you do really say that, I guess you can say that because there weren't. Larry's better.
Larry's better.
Oh, you know what I was gonna say? A round of applause for the amount of respect we show for Larry Bird.
Yeah,
I didn't have to.
I had to be clear.
We showed him some respect.
Hate Larry Bird.
Right.
I just do not like Larry Bird.
I
have no reason to dislike him.
He had the pump fake on. He had the one dribble, he couldn't get off a piece of paper.
He scored.
There's something about Larry Bird I just don't like.
He scored 30 or 40 in a game one time. At halftime, he switched hands. He shot with his other hand, the other half of the game. Like, come on, man.
You can tell me all the. You can be like, oh yeah.
Well, you said basketball. You're like taking skills away from him because you don't like him.
Exactly.
He's a great.
To be fair, he made it to my list.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That is true.
Respect
and I think
for Larry.
What's crazy is I honestly think Shaq was a better center than Kareem because he's the most dominant center. However, Shaq did not have the same or enough work ethic to be able to be in the league dominating for as long as he could have been because he kept getting hurt. Now, from outside looking in, we don't know what Shaq's work ethic is, but something is
Kobe talked about him. He had a terrible work ethic.
Something has to be said about a guy that came in the league skinny as shit. By the time he got to the Lakers, he did put on some muscle. By the time he left the Lakers, the nigga was fat as fuck. Someone had something. So to me, I gotta think your work ethic has to be questioned. So
that's him and his handlers too, because the people that were around
they let him live a lot. Man. That was the same thing in Orlando at a certain point. There were certain things they shouldn't have let him live. Like you could have kept him if you showed him you wanted him there, that you wanted him to be better. That's why he stayed with the Lakers for so long. At a certain point, you're not going to work out, but we're still going to want the best from you every day you show up. We don't care about that.
We still got to put the onus on the player, though.
And I will be fair to Shaq. He did play in a league where it's like basically what they were doing. They do to Cam Newton now. It's like, oh, you big as fuck, you can take it. Yeah. And so I'm sure that didn't help.
That really shortened his career though, more than we talked about. That most definitely did.
Something has to be said, and that's why he ended up so low on my list. Is because you could have been the greatest center of all time, and talent-wise, you probably had at least the most dominant.
Oh, he was to me, I think he was definitely more talented.
Most potential. But
I think he was more talented.
But I had to move him down to the list and move Kareem up to 3. I mean, first off, Kareem is the points leader and he has six MVPs. And I didn't want to use people from that time period. Kareem's 70s, 80s, so it's not too far. But
it's not.
But with 6 MVPs and he got the ring, he's got 5 rings? 5 rings. Like so it's like I think your careers ended up better than Shaq's did. Talent-wise, Shaq probably would wash. If you take Kareem on his best day in his prime versus Shaq on his best day in his prime, Shaq probably would wash Kareem just because he was so dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, Kareem probably could keep him on range, have a little bit more range than Shaq, but Kareem would not have been able to out-defend Shaq. And if there was a make-it-take-it game, Shaq is probably going to go 7-0 on
and then even with that, I throw Wilt in there too with that conversation because Wilt would have been hell on Shaq too.
And I took Wilt out of my top 10. His stats are just ridiculous.
Y'all really don't believe the 100-point game though?
They don't have proof of it. That's the thing.
All it was a radio thing or something.
Even with that though, if you go look at that season, he averaged at the end of the season,
he averaged 50 points a game.
50.4 points a game, which would show if you go and look at just his stats for that year, you can see the 100-point game.
It's possible.
It's possible. That's the only thing I'm saying.
I think it was just like a marketing ploy.
Yeah. And the other thing that Chris said is he made it real clear is the point that he was in the NBA, he was the tallest and the biggest player in the league. So I think he could have easily scored 100 points when the average of the league, I think, was maybe 6'6", and he was 7'1".
And by that merit, I had to take him down off my top 10. It's like, bro, it's like if a nigga that should be in college basketball is playing a 5th senior year in high school and out here just washing niggas. It's like.
He didn't win enough either. That's one of the major gripes with him is he didn't win enough. As great as he said, or they say he was.
How many rings he got? I
think it's 2 or 3.
Oh well.
You know somebody that we missed too, and I'm surprised you didn't. You had a lot of big men. James Worthy. I think he was better than Jordan at one point. When he was in North Carolina.
I was just gonna say that was one of the reasons why. I think even with James Worthy, I like James Worthy. I think James Worthy is a great player, but I think James Worthy was helped by being on the Lakers per se. James Worthy jumped getting on because we would have that skill set. Honestly, is well, I wouldn't even say he was undersized for his position. I'd say. Exactly, and so that skill position is kind of dead. So I think he was a great player, but. You can pick other players besides James Worthy. He's an honorable mention guy. He's somebody. It's somebody you have to have him on your honorable mention. But I'm not going to put him in my top 10. And I play too much NBA Street Volume 2, so I have a different.
You still do?
You still playing?
How?
I play.
You still got a PS2?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I need to buy that.
Hey, man, I'll bring it next time I come, man.
You should.
I love that shit, bro.
Bring that shit. That shit was fun.
Man, I love
that shit was fun. See, that's probably why you got all the big ring.
No, I will have Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, and Sean Marion on the floor at the same time.
Hey, low key, Chris Webber, man, he was
on the floor.
We should have. If Chris Webber would have won something, Chris Webber would have made some lists too.
Well,
and Charles Barkley.
I think he gets snubbed a lot. I think Chris Webber was really, really good. And even players snub him when they talk about how good he was. And it's like like that Players Only show they used to have back in the day before they had the newer section. They had it one day and he got pissed on the set one time. He was like, why ain't nobody picking me?
Emotional.
Yeah, why ain't nobody
picking me? Paul Pierce, bro. It's like I think they put themselves on a higher level.
No, but Chris Webber really was a.
No, I'm saying like if you look at Chris Webber's statistics,
as good as Paul Pierce thinks Paul Pierce is.
Oh man, he did a dunk contest, the McDonald's All-American dunk contest.
Paul Pierce or Chris Webber?
Paul Pierce.
Yeah,
and he got embarrassed.
Paul was.
Do you remember that?
First of all, Paul Pierce
missed like all his dunks.
Paul Pierce shit on himself in the middle of the game, and that is
He took a boo-boo on himself?
Yeah, you remember the game where he got wheelchaired off? He shit on himself. He wasn't hurt. He shit himself.
He said that on live TV.
Yeah.
He told everybody what really happened.
Yeah, he shit on himself. Bro, this was big news like a couple months ago.
You can look at Cyril's face and tell that was big news.
Yeah,
he's like, wow, dog,
bro,
really?
Any nigga that shits himself on the court, bro, is like, your credibility is
I just
shot.
tweeted him. Paul. Now, if you go back and look at that picture and you see Tony Allen's face, I see why Tony Allen didn't want to fucking carry him to the locker room. I understand that.
He can shit himself.
Exactly.
It's not even football. Like football, if you shit on yourself, I kind of get it. Like it is what it is. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Mark Schlereth used to pick on himself every game on purpose.
Why you getting ready? Why your adrenaline pumping? You about to play a game?
I mean, look how Paul Pierce is built. You know, he didn't have to do the best of the heights.
Exactly. That's somebody that didn't really take care of himself either. So it's like, you get what you get out of Paul Pierce. He shit on himself. So it's like, damn, bro. Like, should you have told us that?
I probably would have been. No, I was really hurt until I died.
Man,
like,
do y'all remember that big motherfucker that used to play for the Timberwolves? His name was like Miller.
I'm gonna say Kevin Garnett.
Nah. He was fat. He was literally fat. He used to run up and down the court. He was fat. His name was Miller. Oh my God, I wish I could remember.
I mean, I'm just going to think Big Baby Davis.
I was thinking Robert Tractor Trailer. That's the biggest. That's the biggest dude I think I've ever seen play on a basketball floor before. Or Escalade.
Top 5 best basketball moments ever was when Big Baby hit that game winner and threw the little kid out the way. Top 5 best basketball moments of all time.
You always got some controversy.
You ain't gonna find a funnier moment on the basketball court than that moment.
That's hilarious though.
Second funniest probably is I'll show you when we get right. Actually, the camera got cut off. The end of the show, that was our top 10 basketball players of all time. What did you think? Tell us what you thought in the comments. Tell us why Cyril's list was trash. Because
I think I have the most thorough list here. Y'all had a bunch of people that everybody's gonna put on the list.
I honestly give y'all that the big men thing kind of does take me off a little bit.
I think you went a different way than what we did. You went unconventional, which was kind of better. People be like, oh, you put T-Mac on there. Oh, you put, how you gonna, anyway.
I ain't want to get on here and talk about no goddamn Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
Let's talk about Bill Laimbeer.
That's why somebody tried to argue with me about Jerry West. I was like, bruh, get out of here, dog.
Well, that's the podcast of the week. Thanks, Kenton, for being on the show. That's top 10.
You already know what time it is, man.
I hope the camera ain't cut off. My man's had Triple J's for the first time. Y'all both did. Best barbecue in Houston, Triple J's.
Thank you.
They did their thing.
They did.
I'm gonna give it to them. Free from